Welcome or welcome back to another daily dose of vitamin D3. Coming to you with more sunshine on this rainy day. As you can see from my window up here, my rooftop, my sunroof, you can see the rain, the bubbles from the rain, and I'm still going to be the sunshine in your day. Listen, have you ever felt like it was really hard to be grateful or feel thankful when everything in your life seems to be going wrong? Like every day feels to you like it's a rainy day, like there's a dark cloud that's just following you. It stays with you. It's just over your head and it travels with you everywhere you go. Well, today I want to talk about how you can find joy and positivity and feeling gratitude and being thankful and appreciative even in the midst of the storm, even on the cloudiest and darkest of days, even when it's cold and cloudy out. Because sometimes what happens is we look for joy and we look for feeling peaceful and we look for happiness and we look for pleasure and we look for feeling appreciative when things are going right, when things are working out smoothly, right? When we are feeling happy and proud and like we're making progress and we're feeling accomplished and we are achieving our goals. But not so many times do we talk about how when you actually have some very hard, difficult challenges that you're dealing with, when you are feeling down in the dumps, down and out, sad and filled with sorrow, when you are feeling like your whole life is a sob sad story, you can still turn that around and turn that sob sad story into a success story. So even in the darkest and the cloudiest of days, you know that the sun still exists. Even though right now it's completely overcast here in sunny California. It's been raining all week and it's supposed to continue to rain up until I think the weekend. And sometimes during those times when it's raining and gloomy and dark and cloudy and cold, and you're already feeling down in the dumps and gloom and doom in your life, that can just really wear on your spirit, right? Because you feel like, gosh, you don't feel as hopeful. You almost feel helpless in your current situation if you're not careful. So I'm here to say to you that there is hope, and that we know that the sun and the rain combined makes rainbows, right? We know that even though we can't see the sunshine right now on our cloudy days and on rainy days like this where it's completely overcast and cloudy, the sun still exists. And every now and again it will peek out and shine and remind us that it still is there, even if we can't see it in the moment. And what I'm saying to you is, even in the midst of the storm, right, you can still have that recollection. You can still understand the truth of what it is, right? You still know the sun exists, even if it's not shining right now in the moment. You know that you've already been through some very hard, challenging times. You know that you've gotten through some difficult circumstances. You know this to be true. And you've gotten through it. You've survived it. You've come out on the other side and you're stronger. You're better. You're more evolved. You've grown. You've developed. You've learned some valuable lessons, right? And so that's what I'm here to remind you, that you've already been through something more horrific perhaps before. And if you've made it through that, then why not this? See, what we've got to realize about time is that it's going to pass by no matter what, right? And we also know that as time moves, whether we choose to move with it or not, this time right now, this moment right here, this present moment we are living in right now, as you are hearing the sound of my voice, will not last forever. It will not last forever. So if you're going through some difficult times right now, if you've had some heavy losses, be it a job or a house, like a lot of people here in California during the wildfires, if you've lost a loved one, if you've gone through a divorce, if you've lost a job, if your business is failing right now, if you're if you know you're going to be a part of a layoff, that, your job is going to not keep you for very long. If you are struggling to find work, whatever the difficulty is, understand that you will prosper. And it's just a matter of when, not if. Time will heal the wounds that you're going through, right? And if you're patient enough, and if you just stick with it long enough, believe you me, this will pass. This shall pass, whatever it is you're dealing with right now. So that's what I want to talk to you about today in our live stream episode. And this is a series that we're doing for a 90-day sprint. I've actually been doing it for longer, but this is our daily dose of vitamin D3. The main point of what I'm bringing to you in each of these episodes is really giving you what you're missing in your life. Talking about, supplementing where you're deficient, right? Because sometimes we are feeling inadequate. Sometimes we are not feeling like we're enough. Sometimes we are feeling like, why does life have to be this hard? Right? You may be someone that's right now experiencing challenging times in your professional or personal life. In your business, for example, and you're saying to yourself, gosh, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything I need to do. I'm consistent. I'm showing up for myself. I'm here every day serving the people, right? I'm doing all the marketing things that gurus say to do. I'm posting every day, all the content. I'm showing up on YouTube. I'm going live. I'm, getting on sales calls with people. I am working really hard to find, more leads in my business so that I could keep the cash flowing. I am doing all the things. And yet I'm not seeing the return on my investment in my business, considering the effort that I'm putting in, considering the time factor, right? Considering the money that I've invested back in my business and myself. I have continued to get in the right rooms. I'm networking with people. I'm doing all the things. I've learned the strategies. I've hired the coaches. I've taken the courses. And my YouTube channel is not taking off. Right? That may very well be what you're dealing with right now. Or I'm showing up for work every day. I never miss any days. I'm always on time. I attend to participate in all the meetings. I'm helpful to my colleagues. I'm there for my boss. I'm going above and beyond. I'm doing all the things to impress the people that I'm working with. I don't have any, substandard reviews or low performances, and still I can't get that raise. They still won't give me the promotion. Why is it always, no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, why is this happening to me? Thank you for coming in this room here, and so much I appreciate. God bless you as well, and have a wonderful day too for those of you who are not able to stay and you're just popping in. This is about positive vibes. This is about creating and designing really the life that you want to live and the life that you will love, right? And it really does start with a mindset shift and maintaining an attitude of gratitude even in your time of sorrows. And that's really what we're talking about today. So I want to talk to you more about the power of gratitude during hardships, and understanding that gratitude can be something that you hold on to and should hold on to, especially when things are seemingly going left or south, or they're sour, right? So when that happens, I first want you to recognize that gratitude doesn't just come in a pretty package, right? And what I mean by that more specifically is, sometimes it's hard to feel grateful, right? Like that package that's delivered to your door might be packaged really pretty, has pretty wrapping paper, a beautiful bow, curly ribbon, decorated very beautifully. And when you open it up, it feels like you're pulling out nothing but a box of just crap, right? And you sometimes do wonder when it's people like, when you're someone who's really showing up with good intention, you have a good heart, you're a good person, right? You're doing the right things for yourself. You're doing the right things for your family and the people that are around you. Maybe you're someone who contributes to worthy causes. You're out in your community and you have, you're heavily involved. Maybe you are, go to your church, or you go to donate to a church all the time, or you go and spend time with people who are in need of your services. You do well serving your clients, right? Or your customers. You go above and beyond at work, like I said, for your coworkers and your colleagues. You're there for your children. You're doing all of these things that seem like, gosh, I'm doing all of these wonderful, beautiful things for people. And you would think for somebody like me, I would benefit from that. And I would be feeling like I'm getting something in return because I keep showing up in the way that I do, right? But for whatever reason, it's just not happening for you in the time frame you thought, right? You're not receiving in your mind as many blessings as you feel like you should be getting. You don't feel the return on, like people aren't loving on you the way you're loving up on them perhaps. And maybe that's something you're looking for in your relationships. So I understand what it feels like when you are going through some tough, challenging times, right? And it just feels like the rain just keeps coming down. Like when they say when it rains, it pours. It's really true, right? Because it seems to be sometimes one thing after the other, after the next, after the next, after the other, after the next. And it's like, damn, when is it going to stop raining, storming right here over me? You know what I mean? Everywhere else seems like a beautiful day, like a sunshiny day with beautiful blue skies. Why is it raining right here? Why is the dark cloud hovering over just me? I mean, some days can feel that way. And so when we lose something significant or someone significant, and by that I don't necessarily mean in death, although that could be true. But like I mentioned earlier, it could be divorce, right? I want you to know that even within the difficulties of that situation, even if that is your worst case scenario right now, I need you to understand that even within that, you can switch your perspective in how you see things. You can still be open to receiving the blessings within that case scenario right there. You really and truly can. It's entirely up to you. And I realize I got my heat still running, so it's probably a little loud. Let me turn that down. It's cold, cloudy, and rainy here, so I kept my heat running so I could warm up. So hopefully with my mic in front of me, you can hear me pretty crystal clear. But when we do lose something important to us, when we're failing at something like at a business or a job, or we're not getting the promotion, what you don't realize is that sometimes man's rejection is often God's protection or his redirection. So what you thought should be a blessing for you maybe needed to be a blessing for someone else, or your blessing has yet to come. Maybe it wasn't going to come in the form that you thought it would. Maybe it wasn't going to come in the time frame you assumed it would. But that doesn't mean just because it was delayed that you are denied that blessing. It's still going to come. It's still going to show up for you. It absolutely will. Like I said, it is a matter of when, not if. And it is also going to require your patience, because our deadline does not match God's timeline. Okay? So we've got to get with the program and understand that he's going to give us the blessing when he feels like we are deserving of that blessing. Maybe we have to grow through some things. Maybe we have to learn some hard lessons in order to be humbled. Maybe he needs to properly prepare and groom us for what it is we are aspiring to achieve. And he knows, whether we know it or not, that we haven't yet arrived. He knows better than we do. Maybe he's protecting us from something that might go left, right? Maybe he's got a better plan in place for us, but we can't see through his eyes. So you've just got to know within your heart and soul that if you are deserving and if it is meant to be, if you have been working on manifesting that thing, it will come, whatever you desire to have. You know, you've just got to be disciplined, deliberate, and determined to achieve all that you dream of, desire, and deserve. That is entirely up to you. You've got to believe like no one else will believe in you, that you are meant to have exactly what is coming for you. You've got to understand that just because it didn't happen right now in this moment of time doesn't mean it's not going to come and that it's not on its way. That you are rightfully entitled to abundance, just like anybody else in this world. You are absolutely not exempt. You are entitled. It is your birthright to have the abundant life that you desire to have. So you can't give up on yourself, because if you give up on yourself, then who is going to be there to hold space for you? Right? God, yes, but I mean in the physical sense, right here in the human form. Do you have a supportive environment? People on your side cheering you on? That's great if you do, and I pray that for you. You absolutely should make sure you have the right support system. Oftentimes when we are going through some challenging moments and we are struggling our way to success, it is solely more than likely because we don't have a strong support system. So that's the first order of business. But even when nobody else believes in you the way you believe in you, you've got to be your loudest cheerleader and your biggest fan. And again, maintain an attitude of gratitude, understanding that the blessings are yet to come. So I want you to focus on what you're thankful for, understanding that that will reduce the impact of your pains and enhance your overall experience. And it will increase your resilience. Okay? Practice ways to practice gratitude in tough times. Let me share something with you. I keep a gratitude journal everywhere I go. And when I'm feeling those emotions that are coming up for me, I make sure that I am writing what my feelings are in the moment, not after the fact, in the moment. As soon as I can, as these feelings are coming up for me. Why? Because those are your real, raw feelings. And that's the best time to write down what you're going through and what's coming up for you and what you're thinking about and what you're feeling inside in real time, so that you can address that and deal with it head on. Okay? So, or if you don't have a gratitude journal, I definitely highly recommend you get one. But if you don't, you can always use your phone. Okay? We have our phones with us everywhere we go, right? Put it in your notes and then later write it down in your journal. And speak positivity over your life. Even when you're going through some tough times, say, I know, look, right now as I'm speaking, I don't know if you notice how much brighter I'm getting. Literally, I just said earlier when I started this live stream that we know even on the darkest of days and with the clouds overshadowing, like covering the skies, we know that the sun still shines, right? We know the sun still exists. It's not a matter of if it's going to shine. It's a matter of when. And right now, as I'm giving you this message, right now in this moment, as I'm delivering this message, right now, as I'm speaking positivity over your life and praying for you, whatever you're going through, right now, the sun is shining right directly towards me. It's peeking out right now. Blue skies are starting to open up. As I'm delivering this message, this very message, that is gratitude. That's what gratitude looks like. Because when we maintain an attitude of gratitude, we invite more positivity into our lives. If we are not harping on and paying attention to and spending our time and energy on the downfall of whatever we're dealing with right now, more goodness will come. We will receive more gifts. The positivity that we speak over our lives, the prayers that we put out into the universe, the conversations we have directly with God, those, He hears us and He answers those prayers for us. And the universe is always listening. That is why I say, if you're going to put energy towards anything, it's already bad enough that you're living the problems that you're going through. So why do you have to keep bringing the problems up? Why do you reside there? See, this is the time for you to say all of the good things that could happen, all of the what you wish and pray for to come, the life that you envision for yourself that's better than you are right now. This is a time for you to speak life to over your vision board, right? And speak that into existence. What do you see for yourself past this moment? That's what we've got to start speaking about more of, right? That's what we've got to say out loud. That's what we got to feel internally. See, what happens oftentimes is we will say out of our mouths that we feel a type of way, that we believe in ourselves, that we know this, the best is yet to come. We say that, there's going to be brighter days, that we're going to have a better future. We say that out of our mouths. But see, the problem for many people is that they're conflicted in their heart, because what they're saying inside, internally, in their own minds, what they really feel inside, in their hearts, in their souls, differs than what they're speaking out of their mouths. See, and you might think you're tricking the universe into believing something else, and that it's going to deliver something else to you, but that's not how it works. Because you're saying something out of your mouth, but what you're focused on is what's really in here. Right? You're saying you're not worthy. You're saying you're not deserving. You're saying that this life that you dream of is not meant for you. You're saying that it's happening for everybody else, but it's not happening for you. You're saying that you're the only one who's struggling and going through these problems, but everybody else seems to be successful. See, you're conflicting in your own heart and in your own mind. You feel what I'm saying? So I want you to make sure that what's in your mind matches, and what's in your heart matches what comes out of your mouth, because that really and truly does matter. And so I want you to practice keeping a gratitude journal. I also want you, and that's even through the bad days, even through the hard times, even through the tough times in your life, okay? Focusing on one good thing that happened to you in that day. One good thing. Can you not think of one good thing even out of that situation? One lesson learned. One valuable lesson. One thing. I know you can do yourself a solid in that regard. One thing, okay? Now, I want to share with you that I'm speaking from someone who's also gone through, obviously, some tough times in life, because why would I be any different from you? I don't care who you see on these internet streets, okay? I don't care what household name you can share in the chat or the comments here. I don't care who you can think of as far as an influencer or an iconic figure, a celebrity, whomever. Regular, ordinary people in your everyday life, anybody that you can think of, everybody, each and every one of us, as long as we are human, we all still have feelings, We all bleed. We all go through life challenges. We all have setbacks. We also experience really great things in life. So we're human. That means we have human experiences, right? And so I say that to say that I'm no different from you. And the people that you see that's winning right now in this season doesn't mean they didn't have a journey to go through before they got to their winning season, right? So your winning season is on its way. But you've got to be patient through the process. You've got to pray through the process. You've got to trust the process. And you've got to be willing to roll up your sleeves, okay? Roll them up and do the work. See, so many people want what's on the other side. They want the transformation, but they're not willing to get in the trenches and actually do the work. They want the results, but they don't want to go through the tough times to get the results. I can name so many, like, for example, my own story. Okay, I can share that with you. I've shared it here many a times. I'll share it again. This is an appropriate time to be open and vulnerable in this moment. Back in 2020, I had a really difficult time. I call it the dreaded D's. The dreaded D's, I call it that because it seems like every word with a D just came up, right, in my life. Like everything that could go wrong did. Everything that could happen to one person in a lifetime seemed to have happened to me in 2020. And these were things that I was not prepared for. I was not prepared for emotionally. I was not prepared for mentally. I was not prepared for physically or spiritually or financially. I was ill prepared. Nobody gave me a forewarning. Nobody held up a warning sign. Nobody raised up any red flags. Nobody whispered in my ear and said, hey, you need to be prepared for this because this is about to hit you. Life is about to sucker punch you. It's going to hit you back to back to back below the belt. It's going to be unfair right now. Are you ready? Because if not, you better get ready. That's why my motto now, and has been for years now, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I repeat that every single day, like it's a part of my mantra, right? So when 2020 happened, we already know that the pandemic was a thing, right? That was the first time we had ever experienced anything like it globally, right? But it was the great devastation of our nation. That's the first D. But right before then, at the top of the year, about a month before COVID hit, I got divorced I was in a long-term relationship for nearly 30 years. On top of that, my spouse and I started the business that I'm running today, 9 years later. But because of the dissolution of our marriage, we also had a dissolution in our business. So then that was another difficult thing to go through. I also had a dry season in business, very dry, might I add, okay? Very dry season. And right as my team and I were working through a very long launch cycle, diligently working on a big project, right in the midst of that, right before I was going to launch my big program that we worked so hard for months at a time to work through, to build, my Facebook ads account got shut down. And that added to the dry season I was having in business. I had to circumvent the problem with my Facebook ads team and we had to figure out a way around the problem. So that was another difficult issue that I had gone through. We had some deaths in our family that we weren't expecting on both sides of our family. And at the time, there was a mandate and we couldn't travel. So that was a difficult time, right? All of this is just compounding. You understand? On top of that, what else was going on? The demise of some of my relationships. I had to let people go. People that claimed that they, these were long-term friendships, but these people were no longer serving me in my friendship. These weren't people I even considered to be true friends. I realized that I had to make a change because as I was evolving, these individuals weren't. And they were not headed on the same path that I was headed on. So that was a difficult time to let those people go. I had to do it. I had to do it for myself. And then I had gone back into the workforce. I was still in the workforce at that time, or I had to go back into the workforce right around 2019. And I guess to some degree, I never really left the workforce. I've always had my toe in the door of corporate America somehow, some way, because I'm a nurse, I'm a registered nurse, and I have to keep my license active. So even if I wasn't working as a W-2 employee, I was working as a W-9, an independent contractor. So I either had contracts, with corporate America, or I worked as an independent contractor doing consulting work, or I worked as a W-2 employee as a nurse. So it just depends. But I was discharged. So at that moment, and I really needed the money because, like I said, I was having a dry season in business. So I really needed the extra income that was really supplementing the dry season I was having. On top of that, I had a decline in my health at the time. I was going through a lot of musculoskeletal issues and joint pain, and just all these things were coming up. That was quite difficult to go through. Hormonal issues. I was in my postmenopausal years at this point. Like I was headed into my postmenopausal years. So that was, adding to my challenges. And then I was in insurmountable debt, the most debt I had been in. So you hear all the D's, right? And on top of that, as if that weren't enough, I had experienced, what else was going on? Oh, depression. How could I forget that? And because I was not able to go into, I was living on the East Coast at the time. I lived by coastal, so I was on the East Coast, and my therapist was on the West Coast. So she was in California, which is where I'm currently located. But at the time I was on the East Coast. And so I was trying to get in touch with her because I was going through some severe bouts of depression. And I really needed to talk to somebody because I felt like I was in the midst of a nervous breakdown with everything just hitting me back to back. And I just didn't feel like I could come up for air. You know what I mean? So these were tumultuous times for me. 2020, in 1 year, like I said, some people don't even go through this in a lifetime, or it may take a lifetime to go through it. And yet I found myself in this place where it was very difficult to deal with all of these emotions that were coming up for me. And still I was able to find gratitude in those moments. Still I was able to find gratitude by being able to take a self-care sabbatical that was long overdue and much needed. I was so grateful that I was in a position to be able to go through a healing journey that I deeply needed. I was grateful that I still had a relationship, even though it wasn't the relationship I was used to with my spouse, that we were willing to go through the healing process both separately and together and be able to come back, still be in each other's lives and make a commitment that we would still be here for each other no matter what for the remainder of our days here on this earth. I was still grateful that I had good health, that I still had a good sense of humor, that there were some bright days, that things were coming along, for that we were able to circumvent the problem with regard to my Facebook ads account being shut down, like that I was able to have clients come through my pipeline or prospects come through my pipeline, and I was able to still go through with having, now it's getting hot, and now it's getting warm because the sun is actually shining. So crazy. So, I was still able to have so many wonderful, beautiful things happen for me. And that's how I continue to look at life. Like life is happening for me, not to me. And whether I can see the lesson to be learned in this moment, I'm still grateful, right, for those valuable lessons. And so, like I said, there are many people that I can think of right off the top of my head right now who had very difficult situations, and you see them from a place of success right now, but you didn't necessarily know what it took for them to be on the path that they were on to get there. Like, what did their journey look like? For example, Lisa Nichols, once upon a time, had $11.42 in the bank. She went to the bank to go get some money out, a 20 out to get some Pampers for her son, Jaylani. She shares this story a lot. That's how I'm so familiar. I've been in Lisa's tribe for a long time. And she didn't have $20 in to get $20 out. She had $11.42. So the Pampers that she had planned to get, she couldn't afford to get. Pampers were more than $11. So what she had to do was wrap her son in a towel for over a week, maybe a week or two. And she cried, she sobbed, she wept, and she rubbed him on the stomach and promised him after that situation that mommy and we would never be this broke again. Mommy will never be this broke again. You understand? So, but look at where she is now. But see, people see you from a place of your success story, but they haven't witnessed your sob sad story, right? That's why I'm sharing mine with you, to say that I'm not exempt either. And I know what you could possibly be going through. That's why I talk about the dreaded D's I experienced in 2020, because it really hits hard, because I know somebody who's listening today has gone through something similar. Maybe not all at once, but at least one of those things that I'd gone through, you may have experienced that as well. Tyler Perry is another person. He tried for 7 years to get his one play off the ground. 7 years straight. And the same 30 people, 20 to 30 people, kept showing up, and he knew every last one of them. He also shares his story. And until his 8th year, when he finally decided that he's going to just listen to his mother and just go get a job at, I think it was Bell South or South Bell or whatever it was, he finally was able to get his play in his 8th year, to get his play off the ground. He happened to meet Bishop T.D. Jakes. And Bishop T.D. Jakes, as we know him today, wasn't the Bishop T.D. Jakes back then. He was someone who, at that time, you know, and people see his story, right? And they think that he's just the greatest bishop on planet Earth. And guess what? I feel the same way. But he wasn't necessarily always this person that we know today. He was always wearing the same suits every single Sunday. He was preaching in a very small, very, very small church that maybe more than, 30 people could fit into. He had holes in his shoes because he was wearing the same shoes every single Sunday. He couldn't afford to get a brand new suit or brand new shoes. He was wearing a drippy Jerry curl, as he likes to clown now, But the point is, guess what? Look at where he is today. Look at where Tyler Perry is today. Look at where Lisa Nichols is today. Look at where Oprah Winfrey is today, right? We know she's shared her story over the years. We all know her story. That she was born in poverty, right? In Mississippi, of all places, I'm pretty sure, Mississippi, the deep South. And she is, I've always thought she was the first black woman billionaire, but I've since learned that she's actually the second black woman billionaire. But nonetheless, she's a billionaire, right? She is a billionaire. And so, I can just go on and on and on. Steve Harvey, who slept in his car for 3 years, look at where he's at now. Arlen Hamilton, she also was homeless for most of her life. She shares this all the time. And she was sleeping on the airport floor or the bench of the airport for years. And she's now a multimillionaire. So I'm naming these people, and I'm sharing my own story just to say that the difference between people like them and myself, and the difference between them and me and people like, perhaps you, who's going through some tough times right now, is that maybe things aren't shifting for you, and they won't shift for you until you decide that you are deserving of more, and that you are grateful for what you have, even though You're experiencing some really difficult, challenging, tough times right now. With the understanding that this will not last forever, whatever it is you're going through, this too shall pass. Okay? So those are the practical tips I wanted to share with you. Those are the stories that I wanted to share. Just really, again, focusing on what you're grateful for and thankful for and appreciative of, more so than the pain and the problems. Understanding that you will have prosperity by doing what I've shared here today. Okay? And if you want to experience that resilience that so many people have, and that's how they get through these very tumultuous times, then do what I'm advising for you to do. Okay? And look, literally the sky, I mean, it's like there's still some parts of the sky that's cloudy, but it's no more, it's vaguely any gray clouds. There are blue skies, scattered white clouds, and lots of sunshine since I've been on this live stream. So this speaks truth to power. It speaks, it speaks the power of gratitude, right? I mean, really in real time, in living color, this couldn't have been a better live stream for this to happen on. So I really do hope this has given you the value that you needed today. And this was the dose of vitamin D3 you needed, right? And that if you are deficient in this area and it's something that you need to practice more of, this is a great way to do it. This is how I do it every single day. Yes, I am grateful for all the good things that happen in my life. Of course I am. We all should be. But we also have to be really feeling the same way in the bad times. And for the people that come into our lives that aren't doing us any good, that had ill intentions from the beginning, that don't have our best interest at heart, even those people, even the bad people in our lives, we can still find gratitude in that, believe it or not. And those people who have already harmed you in your life, in whichever way they've harmed you, you can still find gratitude in what the lesson was in that. And you can still be in a forgiving place and have a forgiving heart. And that in and of itself will bring more beautiful things in your life, more gifts in your life that you weren't even expecting to have. Things that will show up out of seemingly nowhere because it was meant for you. And it was time for you to receive those gifts. Okay? And so, let me know if this has been helpful for you, what you are grateful for today, what you've taken away from this message, what tugged on your heartstrings, what really hit home and resonated with you. What was the most valuable key takeaway in this lesson for you today? Let me know. If you're still here, most of you have probably dropped off by now. It looks like you have. But so if you're watching this on the replay, let me know in the comments. Give me a purple heart and let me know what it is that you've taken away from this message today and how it's been most helpful to you. Okay? Let me make sure there's nothing else I want to share. The biggest message I want you to take away is finding gratitude in hard times, finding joy in the midst of sorrow, and knowing that when you do that, there absolutely will be a better tomorrow. Okay? If you're feeling inspired to transform your challenges from triumphs or into triumphs with gratitude, then make sure you're dropping me a purple heart emoji in the comments and letting me know that exactly what you plan on doing, from what I've shared today. And again, what really resonated with you the most. I would greatly appreciate that. Let me know, by the way, if these are, if you are really, if you've been showing up for the live streams here every day. Most of you, I know those of you who do show up on a routine basis, but if you've been watching me on the replay, let me know if this has been helpful for you. And if you'd like for me to continue these, because this is the whole point of me doing them, right? I'm not doing them for the sake of helping myself or for my own health, right? And for my own benefit necessarily. I'm doing them because I really want to help you. And so if you are finding these helpful and you'd like for me to continue these, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just on a 90-day sprint right now, and that will end at the end of this month. And then I'm going to decide, I might shift gears. I might still do a daily dose of vitamin D3, but I might do it when I bring back the resuscitation room, which I was doing every Wednesday. And I might just give a daily dose there. That will kind of go hand in hand. And then I'll be on weekly as opposed to daily, because I do have a lot going on in my life and business right now, and I need to put my time and energy and attention and focus on those areas. And even though it doesn't have to take me long to pop on here and do a quick live stream, I tend to go long because I really want to give you everything I've got. I really want to give you my whole heart and, the knowledge that I have, the wisdom that I want to impart on you, words of encouragement. I want to keep you motivated to take inspired action. I want to be the sunshine in your day, right? And I want to give you, again, the supplement that you need in the areas that you're deficient. And that's why it's so important to me to do this, because we're all deficient in some area of our lives, right? Some aspect of our lives, we need that daily dose. So that's what this is all about, and that's why it's so meaningful to me, but I want it to be just as meaningful to you as well. So let me know for sure if this has been helpful, and I will gauge the comments that I get, the feedback that I get, and the feedback I've been getting, which has been really positive, by the way. So thank you for those who have actually messaged me and who has shared with me in the comments that you really appreciate this live stream series. All right, so I think I've given all the practical tips that I've wanted to give, and I've shared stories with you because I feel like stories really help to put things into perspective. And when people share stories, at least this is how I think about it. When people share stories, especially people I really admire, I really find that it's super helpful because I can see my story in theirs. I can see my situation in theirs. I can feel their heart because of the way that they deliver the message and the way that they share their own personal journey. So stories are everything. They're very meaningful. It just really brings the message home. And I think it makes sense more times than not to really be as vulnerable as we possibly can, because when we are willing to be vulnerable, it allows people who are listening in, those who are viewing, right? Those who are going through something right now, it allows you to feel safe in this space. And that's what I really want to do, is open up a safe space here. I want to make sure that you do know that you can, trust me, because I'm sharing with you exactly what I've gone through and how I've gotten through it, right? And by doing that, you can integrate or incorporate some of these very principles and philosophies that I'm sharing with you and do the same to turn around your life, right? So that's the whole purpose of this, is for us to really grow together. And sharing really is caring. And because I do really care about my community and the community and the tribe I'm building here, I'm going to give you everything I can think of that will be beneficial to your life. So I would advise, you to do the same. If, find ways to give back and pay it forward, because every blessing we received, every gift that we receive, we should be giving back to others because of the blessings that we have, right? Especially for those who are less fortunate, those who don't have the support systems that we have, those who don't have family members and friends to talk to, those who have lost significantly something in their life or someone in their life. Sometimes, I have had people tell me that they feel like I'm their best friend, right? In their heads. Like they don't know me personally, but they know, like, and trust me through the energy I exude and through the positive vibes that I give, right? All about positivity here, by simply watching me on video. And that they really truly appreciate that I keep showing up consistently to deliver these messages, because it's really helping them through whatever they may be going through. And for that reason, that's why I keep showing up, Because even if I can just help one person a day, I've done my work. I've done my job. This is something that I don't have to commit to doing, but it is a part of my legacy, is to help more people and to bring more people ahead, to lift more spirits, to empower more women, right? And even if you're not a woman and you happen to be listening to my message and the sound of my voice, and my message is applicable to you, which most of my messages are, then, I feel really good about that. So hopefully you can do the same with others. I don't know if you're on YouTube and you can give a good word and an empowering message or a powerful message and lift up somebody's spirits and make them feel better about themselves, or teach them a new thing, or tell them a story, share your success, share your failures. Like, people really enjoy hearing that from other people, primarily because then they feel like they're not in this journey alone. And that's why my signature sign off is the same every time, and it has been for years, is because I really am in tune and in touch with what people are going through and what we're experiencing in life, and that we are more alike than we are different. No matter the color of our skin, no matter our sexual orientation, our religious background, it doesn't matter what denomination you belong to. It doesn't matter if you're religious or not, if you're spiritual or not. It doesn't matter, what the texture of your hair is, or what street you grew up on, or what your socioeconomic status is, or what your educational background is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. None of that matters, because we are all human beings at the end of the day. That's what matters. That means we all want to feel seen. We all want to be heard. We all want to just show up and be our most authentic selves. And so for that, I am grateful that you keep showing up for yourself. Right? And that's what it's not just about me showing up for you and you showing up for me. It's, let's show up together for the betterment of our lives, but you keep showing up for yourself and doing the work that's required to get the results you desire. That's what it's really about. That's what matters more. Okay? So again, thank you so much for tuning in. If this has been helpful to you, be sure to share this video out with at least 3 friends. That can be your colleagues, associates, family members, friends, business besties, entrepreneurial entourage, somebody, anybody, everybody who can benefit from this message today, okay? Because if it's valuable for you, then more than likely it's going to be valuable for someone else. And as I said, if you're not showing up to give the same kind of messages, that's okay. The one way you can give back to me for showing up for you is to share this message out for other people that you know who needs to hear it. Okay? So as I tune out and you tune in, again, be sure to share this video out with at least 3 friends, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. For more content like this, I drop 3 videos a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, same time, same place. And right now I'm doing a 90-day sprint of a live stream show, Daily Dose of Vitamin 3, Monday through Friday. So you can catch me live or on the replay, whatever's convenient for you. All right. And that's how you can make the most of, what I deliver here. Go ahead and take a look around, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode whenever I do go live or whenever I do drop a new video. And actually a new video dropped today, so be sure to go check out that, or wherever it is you are in the journey, go ahead and look for whatever applies to you and go ahead and get to work. Okay, we've got some work to do. So as always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.